Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of Romantasy Roundtable, a tale of Rick and Roses. You can't see me if you're watching, but my name is Rick, and I'm with my roses.
Amanda.
And Kim.
And as always, we would appreciate it if you consider liking this video. If you really like this video, we would love if you subscribe. It helps out our channel tremendously. And you can always drop us a comment wherever you're watching this. You can send us an email at romantasyroundtable@gmail.com. Just like our good friend Jamie Daws did.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
And we love Jamie. We love everyone else. If you're listening, feel free to shoot us an email. But Jamie, you sent an email, which is obviously right here. Got it. Oh, I like this one, Jamie. This is good. This is for me, guys. You guys can help if you want.
I think it's always for you.
Well, this one's really for me. I wasn't expecting this. Good morning from a freezing Sydney in Australia, standards.
It's winter.
I also felt the epilogue was unnecessarily long, but as a whole, I loved it. Loved the battle, and of course, still love Manon. I can't wait to see more in the second LOMSJML. Love of SJM my life? Love of my SJM life. Jessica. Got it. Alrighty. Haha. On a side note, and just for Rick.
LOML is your favorite Taylor Swift song.
Right, Lommel.
That is my favorite Taylor Swift song. You guys can help too if you want. As I've heard a couple of wrestling references over the past week.
Oh, God.
That's right. What were your thoughts on SummerSlam? Are you happy Reigns and Rollins are now not rivals? I, for one, am not. Well, what do you guys think? Are you happy that Reigns and Rollins are no longer rivals?
Yeah, I think we all should get along. So I think that's absolutely. I'm so glad they made peace and they've decided to collaborate and be besties.
Reigns refers to Roman Reigns, who is named after the great Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire is named such because of Romulus and Remus. And they were like, we founded this cool city. What should we name it? And Remus was like, I think we should name it Reme. And Romulus was like, the fuck we won't. And he killed his brother. And that's why it's called Rome.
Remus was in Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. That's true. Anywho, Jamie, so what are my thoughts on SummerSlam? Night one, snooze fest. Put me to sleep. Really boring. It was basically a Saturday Night Live main event.
Me too. I don't even remember it.
Yeah.
At all.
That's kind of exactly how it was. Night two, however, that was very good. We're really happy about Chad Gable. He won his first singles title in over 10 years.
Is that Clark Gable's son?
Yes.
Wow.
So we're really happy about
He's
Chad
old.
Gable. And am I happy that Reigns and Rollins are no longer rivals? I'm not. So as you guys know, about 10 years ago, the Shield broke up with Seth Rollins hitting Roman Reigns with a chair.
The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I really...
The TV show The Shield?
Oh, I love Actually, I love the fucking Shield. That's a great show. So no, I'm not happy that their rivalry was over. This could have went the rest of their career. However, I do think Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns might be towards the end, so they might want to get it out of the way. I would have liked for it to happen at WrestleMania. However, Kevin Owens is back. Guys, Kevin Owens is back. And that was
Back again?
fucking crazy.
Guess who's back?
Kevin Owens is back.
You're telling your friends?
So Kevin Owens, we love Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens.
Acknowledging an Eminem reference. She made an Eminem reference. You didn't even flinch.
No, I know, but this is Kevin Owens right now. So Kevin Owens is like, I want you to imagine me if I actually became a wrestler. That's who he is. He's like really into, like he loves the goofiness of it, but he's like a serious wrestler. Anywho, about a year and a half ago, he broke his neck. It was really bad.
Is that the one where he hit the table?
No, that was a different guy. He collapsed his lung. I showed you this in the office.
Yeah.
So Kevin Owens
I saw
broke
that
his
clip like 5 times because he showed it to everybody who walked into the office that day.
Kevin Owens broke his neck. We didn't think he was going to wrestle anymore, which is really sad because he really loved wrestling. And it was a surprise. He was a surprise entrant in the match, and he won, and he's the number one contender now. And he's going against CM Punk, and they might have some real beef, like actual real life beef.
CM Punk is a name I've heard before.
Mm-hmm. So we're really happy about Kevin Owens. We hope he beats CM Punk. I think they might stretch it out a little bit, but there we go.
So SmackDown happens every week. SummerSlam happens in the summer.
Mhm.
And WrestleMania happens one other time.
Late March, early April.
Are there other annual jaunts?
I'm glad you asked. So there's actually a monthly wrestling events. There are the big four. So back in the day, there were only four main ones. It was WrestleMania. That's the real big one. SummerSlam, which they're now treating as WrestleMania. Rest of it, so it's like the halfway part of the year between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. So they're treating it as like a second WrestleMania. And the other two is the Survivor Series in November and the Royal Rumble in January, which is my favorite pay-per-view.
So it's like tennis. Like if you win all four, it's like a Grand Slam.
That's a great question. There are Grand Slam champions, but to become a Grand Slam champion, you have to win all the titles.
Jamie, what have you done to
All
us?
four. You have to win all four?
Oh, no. So there's the world title, there's the undisputed title, there's the United States Championship, Intercontinental Championship, and Tag Team Championship.
How do you win? So you're not like champion of SummerSlam.
It's a great question. No, SummerSlam is just the name of the event, like the U.S. Open.
But somebody wins the US Open.
Oh, got it. No, it's just the name of the event. Like, it's just the name of it.
When does the season end?
It doesn't officially end, but it unofficially ends at WrestleMania.
I asked him this.
Which is in late March.
I asked him this after WrestleMania at some point this spring also, because I was like, how many seasons is wrestling? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, it literally never stops.
I don't know if you're watching or just listening, but if you're watching, I need you all to know that Rick is literally a caricature of himself today. He's wearing an Italy soccer jersey and a Knicks hat, a Knicks fitted cap, Knicks Campiones, sorry, fitted cap, and he's tan because he was at the Great Wolf Lodge.
Thank you for reminding that. This Italian jersey I got at Dick's, and this episode is sponsored by Dick's. Bet you can't have just one.
Oh, God. Okay, so
This episode is about children.
I know. And before
They are children at the beginning.
Before we started this episode, I made a joke about I wondered if this episode was going to earn us more views and subscribers or lose us them, and I think I have the answer now.
Well, I think talking about wrestling just increased our male listeners by at least
By 1.
0.5%. Jamie, tell your friends. Oh, yeah, he's got also more stuff. Wait. Also, we were really happy that Obafemi won, but that match kind of sucked. Let's see. P.S. What has been a moment in your reading life which has made you the most emotional, cried the most? Mine would be the final chapter of Realm of Elderlings series by Robin Hobb. 16 books. Wow. Must read if you have 6 months free time. I am going to go look this up, actually. But
Do you have 6 months free time?
after I finish Crescent City, probably.
I would say the first thing that comes to mind, like in my adult reading, is the end of Atmosphere. I just I would say 85% of that book, I just started crying and I did not stop until the book was over. And I don't get that emotional about a lot of books. But that really stuck with me. I still think about it. But I'm not going to say much more because if you're listening and you haven't read Atmosphere, you really should.
And if you're watching this video, I've been looking around because we are currently in my apartment, and so I'm looking at my 2 bookcases that I have. And my favorite book is a book called The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell. And yeah, at the end of that gets me every time.
Shout out to Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Just a shout, honorable mention. But I don't know. I cried a lot during Kingdom of Bash, they're 13, just stuff like that. So that's probably I'll put that there. I don't know why. Yeah, it was just she wrote all those really well. Also, P.S. a postscript. I always thought the Loch Ness has shark skin. Much love. Congrats on getting married. That's you. Approaching being married. That's you. And congrats on being great podcasters. That's us.
That's us. Yay.
Thank you, Jamie. I don't have a mic.
Okay, I want to.
Thank you, Jamie.
I'm going to add one additional to.
Those are great questions.
They're
by the
great
way.
questions.
That's a great
Thank you.
question.
And again, anybody else can also email and ask us
And if
great questions.
I'd love to hear, like in the comments, let us know what your emotional book moments are.
My other one is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. Woof, end of that book.
I haven't read it, and that's like why I haven't read it.
Yeah. It's a book about 9/11.
That's why I haven't watched Coco.
I would put watching Coco up there. The first time I watched Coco, I would put that up there with Reading Atmosphere for me. But also watching Frozen 2 was like that for me. But that's because I so deeply identify with Anna from Frozen. This has been an episode about
Wrestling.
What are we talking about today, Rick?
This is your episode. What are we talking about
This is
today?
my episode. Friends, today we're here to talk about the Heartstopper book series by Alice Oseman. Oseman? I think it's Oseman. We're going to cover volumes 1 through 6 today. We're not necessarily talking about the TV show, and we haven't seen the movie, but we're not necessarily talking about the TV show because somebody didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's me. I'm reading a lot.
Okay, I will say though, and first off, yes, this is obviously a little bit of a departure for us because it's not actually romantasy.
Everything about it is quite real, actually.
Yeah.
No fantasy.
We all have read it and we all have loved it. And it felt like a great August palate cleanser. We're not talking about the TV show, but I have recently rewatched the TV show.
Same.
And by recently, I mean I finished season 3 again last night. So I probably am going to reference the TV show because I have watched that much more recently than I read the books.
Same. I mean, I don't know if I recently rewatched the show. I do think it's hard to talk about the book and particularly the other characters that aren't Nick and Charlie without referencing the show. So we will do that at some point, but I don't think there's really, like, if you've read the books and you haven't watched the show, you should watch the show because it's a really great and faithful adaptation of the book that expands upon it. But I don't think that there's like spoilers for the show in any way that, like, Alice Oseman was like very involved in the creation of the show and the direction of it. And so I don't think there's any departures that like would be surprising if you've read but not watched.
There's just more.
And I think if you're listening to this or watching whatever you're doing, and you don't know Heartstopper, and we keep saying book. It is a book, but it's a manga. It's a graphic novel. So you said it's a good palate cleanser, which was, I finished Kingdom of Ash, and you, Amanda, were like, "Oh, read Heartstopper," and I was like, "Fine." And it was really good. It was really good. It read really quick. It was a great palate cleanser, but it does. I would have been happy reading it on its own. So yeah, it's you can go into it knowing it's like a graphic novel, and it is a quick read.
And it's a YA graphic novel, a British YA graphic novel about 2 young queer men and their sort of chosen queer family. I think it reads so quick, I think, because it is YA and because it is a graphic novel, but I also think it's just like deeply like heartfelt and kind and wholesome. And I do think the books grow with the audience in a way that is like they start much younger and they experience a lot of life together. And so like we're going to go through it fast now, but like when you get to book 6, you're like, oh, we're talking about sex. And in book 1, it's like, oh my God, they like touch hands. And which is like so real. I think it's like a really beautiful portrayal of young love.
Yeah, I think it's the
Yes.
YA graphic novel version of cozy fantasy.
1000%.
And it's just like, oh, this is just delightful.
Let's get into it. I have notes there from my ChatGPT today with gratitude to The Fictional Hangover, which is a podcast / website, I think. But they had great
Thanks,
summaries of volumes 1 through 5. And so I used those to make these summaries. Here we go. Volume 1. Charlie Spring is a 15-year-old student at Truham Grammar School. He loves music, he's playing the drums, and he's openly gay after being outed at the school the previous year and enduring months of bullying. When the book begins, Charlie is secretly seeing a boy named Ben Hope, who's an older student who has a girlfriend and refuses to acknowledge Charlie publicly. But Charlie is already realizing that whatever is happening between them is unhealthy, and he is trying to end it. Can we talk about Ben for a second?
Ben sucks.
Fuck that guy.
Fucking Ben Barlow.
Ben.
Ben fucking Barlow.
Ben fucking Barlow. I feel like Ben gets, we're doing it so right off the bat.
Right.
I feel like you get to see Charlie telling Ben to fuck off in the show way better than you get to see it in the book.
Yeah, you totally do. And it is very, very satisfying.
It's satisfying. And he like says to him, he's like, just because you're figuring your shit out does not mean you get to hurt me. And I think, spoilers for what's going to happen in the next book, like I think the difference between how Nick handles that and how Ben handles that is like pretty stark.
And I think this is sort of true for a lot of moments of controversy in these books, because you start into it and you're like, okay, they're 15, they're 16. And so it's like, we got to give them some grace because yes, they are figuring themselves out. But it's just like, no, Ben, you just kind of really did fucking suck.
Yeah, Ben sucks. All right, so around the same time, Charlie becomes friends with Nick Nelson, who is 1 year older. He's a rugby player. He's a rugby lad. He's a lad. And he recruits him to the team after noticing that Charlie is very fast. He's the fastest boy in the grade. He's a really fast sprinter. And they spend more time together. Charlie develops a massive crush despite assuming Nick is straight. When Ben corners Charlie and ignores his attempts to make him stop. Oh, let me back up. I told Rick this, but you were in the bathroom. ChatGPT kept being like, this content is blocked for safety. This content is blocked for safety. And I was like, it's Heartstopper Volume 1. What are we talking about? It's because of this part. So Ben corners Charlie and he forces himself on him. He's kissing him and Charlie tells him to stop and he pushes him away and Ben doesn't stop and Nick intervenes, gets Ben away from Charlie and becomes one of the first people Charlie tells the full story of their relationship to. From there, Nick and Charlie become inseparable. They're texting constantly. They're hanging out at each other's houses. They're playing in the snow with Nick's dog, Nellie.
The real hero of the story.
We love Nellie.
We love Nellie.
And generally behaving like two people who are absolutely not just buddies. Charlie knows he's falling hard, while Nick begins questioning his sexuality and panic Googling, I like girls, but now I like a boy. They go to this birthday party that's hosted by this guy named Harry, who's a friend of Nick's and generally a douche. Mm-hmm. Nick learns that his supposed longtime crush, Tara, is actually gay. She's dating
Darcy.
Danica.
Darcy.
Light it up.
She's dating Darcy. So everyone was like, oh my God, Nick and Tara. But no. Nope. Nick calls Harry out for being homophobic and finds Charlie after Charlie successfully stands up to Ben on his own. Away from the party, Nick admits he has feelings for a boy. Charlie finally asks if Nick would kiss him. They share their first kiss.
So sweet.
And then a much more enthusiastic second one. But when they're interrupted, Nick abruptly leaves, ending Volume 1 with Charlie devastated and convinced he's ruined everything.
What I like about the series is how normal it feels. Like even when the guys are dicks and they're being jerks, that's normal. Like it's not right, but that's I've seen that growing up, right? So it just felt like reading, like it wasn't reaching. It was just like, this is what happens. And then someone like Nick is, he's unsure what to do, and he's at this point he still goes with his friends because he's scared. So I did really appreciate how like real it felt.
Yeah, nothing feels, what you're saying, like over the top or forced. Feels like a really accurate portrayal of these are two young dudes figuring themselves out.
Right, and Charlie goes through his queer awakening before we meet him. But Nick is really going through it in real time. And he has very real feelings for Charlie and like doesn't know what that means about himself. And that's a lot for him. Little sweet baby boy.
I love him.
Volume 2. Volume 2 picks up after Nick and Charlie's first kiss, with Charlie convinced he ruined everything until Nick shows up the next morning, kisses him again, and explains that he ran because he's having a full-blown sexuality crisis, not because he regretted it. They kiss in the rain.
I know. It's cute.
I checked it off for bingo last year. Nick admits that he likes
You
Charlie.
read this last year?
I did.
Okay.
Nick admits that he likes Charlie but doesn't know how to label himself yet, and Charlie suggests he might be bisexual while reassuring him that there's no rush to figure it out. They begin secretly dating, with
Ooh.
Nick researching bisexuality while the two become increasingly terrible at pretending they're just friends. How do you feel about their secret dating?
Like I just said, it feels like it's normal.
Yeah.
Like, seems like what. I mean, I feel bad for Charlie because he just went through this as well.
Right.
But Charlie seems like just like a genuinely good guy, and he's like, okay, well, Nick is trying to figure it out. I'll do it for him.
Right.
But I did feel bad for him because he just went through this.
Right. It's tough because it's like, if Nick were a bad person, like Ben is, like, I guess it's like making you realize that like Nick and Ben are both in the same situation, and one of them handles it with like maturity and grace, and one of them handles it by being a terrible person. And it's just like, oh, sometimes people are just dicks.
Right. Like,
and they just make bad choices.
Nick is like, this might be who I am.
Yeah.
And Ben is like, this isn't who I am.
This isn't who I am, and you're just someone who's around. He's
right.
I think he's worse in the show. All right, so we're still in book 2. Nick joins Charlie's friends for his birthday and overhears his bestie Tao worrying that Charlie will get hurt again because of Nick's homophobic friend group. Nick later tells Tara that he and Charlie are together, making her the first person he intentionally comes out to, and she reassures him that he can move at his own pace. Things come to a head at the movies when Harry targets Charlie with homophobic comments, and Nick finally snaps and fights him.
Good job, Nick.
Realizing he doesn't want either of them hiding because of people like Harry, Nick asks Charlie on their first proper date, and they spend an extremely wholesome day at the beach with Nellie. There, Nick tells Charlie that he knows he's bisexual and dramatically announces to the ocean that he likes Charlie Springs in a romantic way, not just a friend way. And that night, Nick comes out to his mom, telling her that Charlie is both his best friend and his boyfriend, and she immediately responds with love and support. Volume 2 ends with Nick comfortable calling himself bisexual, and Nick and Charlie officially boyfriends to the people who matter most.
All right, I have a couple thoughts. Thought number one, it was probably around in this chapter, or maybe even the first one. At some point, again, I really like that the author, Alice, she doesn't pull any punches. Like, they drop like an F-bomb.
Yeah. But it's never like, fuck you. It's always like...
No, not that F-bomb.
It's always like, oh.
Like the...
like the slur.
Yeah.
The F slur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I liked that because it's real.
Yeah.
Like...
That is what he would say.
That is what someone like that would say.
Yeah.
And it made me more invested in it. It's like, okay, this is like really happening.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Kim said, it wasn't like pulling any punches. So I like that they brought that into it. This volume 2 was, I know we're not gonna do this, but volume 2 was like a 5-star. Like, everyone was 4 stars for me except volume 2 and the last one. Volume 2 in particular, like I like stakes and tension and just like that. And I was like, oh my God, is he gonna come out to his mom? And he did. So like that is what pushed it over for me.
I love Nick's mom so much.
Yeah, me too.
And I love her in the show.
Wouldn't know.
She's played by Olivia Coleman.
Never heard of her.
That's not true. We talked about this. She's in things you've seen. She's in that new movie Wicker, which we're all gonna see. Have you seen the trailer for Wicker yet?
That is with Galinda and Elphaba.
We're gonna watch that after. Okay, yeah, I agree. I think the stakes here are good. I really like book 2. The whole series is 5 stars for me. I think it's hard for me to rate something this short. I like book 2 because you really start to see, again, found family is really it for me. So you really start to see this like queer friend group that they're building. You get to know Tao, you get to know Tara and Darcy. I think this is the first appearance of Elle. And so you're really starting to see like this group of safe people in a time when shit is unsafe. Like, it's hard to be a teenager.
Yeah.
And I feel like this handles that well. And like, in both the show and the book, I found Tao very annoying at the beginning, but like he's just trying to be a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. I don't know if it's like book 2 where we start seeing a little of Charlie's parents, but Charlie's parents and Nick's parents are pretty different.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Again, what I like going into the next books I would be talking about is it's not just a relationship. Like real life stuff happens to them, and the relationship is just a thing. Like they are just in a relationship, but other things are going on. We'll talk about like mental health stuff. But we will see that his parents are very different.
Yeah. All right. Volume 3. Now officially boyfriends, Nick and Charlie start telling more people about their relationship while Nick continues figuring out when and how he wants to come out. Nick's supportive rugby friends, that word's doing a lot of work here because they're not all supportive, but these ones are. Supportive rugby friends apologize for not standing up to Harry sooner, but things are more complicated at home when his older brother David discovers the relationship and reacts badly, reinforcing just how stressful coming out can be. So a little backstory about Nick's family. Nick lives with his mom. His parents are divorced. His dad actually lives in France. And his brother Charlie is away. Nope. His brother David is away at uni. And he
Edinburgh.
sucks.
That's college.
Is that
If
Edinburgh?
you're not American. Wait, is it uni in Australia? Oh shit.
The backwards hat. What are we going to do with
Right?
this
Gosh,
man?
dang.
David sucks.
David's, yeah, right? He's another one where it's like, oh, I want to give him a little bit of grace, but I'm also like, you are old enough to know better and to be better.
Yeah. I think he has we'll talk about it in book 6, but I think he has like a good moment where like he could, I don't know. You can hold both that he has also been harmed and that he is doing harm. Because of the dad stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, Charlie learns that Tao accidentally played a role in outing him the previous year, reopening some of the hurt from that experience just as the whole friend group heads to Paris for a joint Truum and Higgs school trip. So Higgs is the girls' school. And that's where they're going. So the rest of the book is in Paris.
Y'all, they go on this trip with like 2 chaperones.
They go on this trip with like 2 chaperones. Guys, this stresses this whole thing. They just show up to a place and they're like, I'm mostly thinking of the show, but they show up to a place and they're like, you guys can go this way, you guys can go that way, come back and be at this place. And they
See
just
you
like
in 5 hours.
We work at a drastically different school.
I also want to acknowledge that like them going to Paris is like us going to Philly, right? Like it's like
Yeah, but we're not letting them loose in city
I'm not
center.
letting them loose in Brooklyn Heights. But like I'm really like I had this moment when we were watching the show where I was like, they're taking a bus to Paris, and I was like, oh,
The channel.
but I just forgot that they were British. Yeah, so they go with 2 chaperones. I don't know if the notes are going to tell us, but they go with these 2 chaperones. One is the art teacher. Charlie has a good relationship with this teacher. He like sits in his room when he's feeling overwhelmed. And the other is a history teacher, maybe? I don't actually know what he teaches.
I don't know. I mean, he's sort of like supervised study hall.
Yeah, he's like their homeroom.
That's how he like shows up.
He's their homeroom guy.
Yeah,
Again, we're
and he
speaking more
does-
about the show.
He does the GCSE study hall in the show.
Yeah. But those 2, they have a little flirty moment in Paris and they end up together because the premise of this book is everyone is gay.
Right.
Right. I mean, and I joked about it when I was reading it. I was like, okay, hold on. I was like, they're like, worried about being bullied for being gay, but everybody's gay. Like, why don't they bully people who are straight? Everyone's gay in the book.
Guess what? Sexuality is a spectrum.
That is correct.
We are all little gay.
Here we are. I also just want to acknowledge that when I read a book, I like to think like, which character am I, right? Like, I think we all do that a little bit. I am 10,000% the art teacher. And that's not surprising to anybody because there's this scene in the show where they're like rolling out the Paris trip and he's standing at the front of the room and he's like, okay, everybody, like we're getting ready to start. And then Mr. Farouk goes, quiet, and everyone stops and listens. And
That's Mary.
That's Mary. And in my outside of work life, that's Tristan. All right. In Paris, Nick and Charlie enjoy finally getting to be a couple around friends, while Tao and Elle's years of mutual pining finally pay off when Elle kisses him. So Elle is a trans woman. She was originally at Truum with them and then ended up transferring to Higgs and was obviously much happier there as a girl at a girls' school. And she and Tao and Charlie were like a trio. But Tao and Elle
And
are,
Isaac.
and yeah, Isaac in the show, but he's a different guy in the book.
I know he's a different guy.
who's like not important. But all right. Nick begins noticing that Charlie frequently skips meals, and his concern grows when Charlie becomes dizzy and passes out at the Louvre. Charlie admits that restricting his eating gives him a sense of control when he's stressed, and Nick promises to support him without pushing him. Charlie and Tao repair their friendship, while Charlie also gets the deeply satisfying opportunity to reject Harry's attempt at an apology, telling him that he realizes he's been a terrible person doesn't automatically earn him forgiveness. At Tara's birthday party, Nick and Charlie finally come out as a couple to their classmates, who are overwhelmingly supportive and later agree privately that though their relationship is becoming more physical, neither of them is ready to take things further. They're like in their hotel rooms, they're like staying together. And just like a note for all other international trip chaperones out there, if you are ever making room assignments, it's like really important that you have all of the tea, because you really don't want to accidentally pair two students who are in a romantic relationship in a room together. We've never done that. And if we have, there were two other people in the room, and so it was fine. Okay.
I mean, there are always two other people in the room, but
I was
it's just
thinking about Simon and Flo.
Simon and Flo were never in a room together because
No.
Simon.
No. So we had these two students, and
hopefully you've never found us.
one. I'm telling you a personal story. So I was the. It doesn't matter. I was like, oh well, these two students should just be in the advisory next year together. And one of our counselors was like, they can't. I'm like, why? They're just bros. And he's like, no, they're dating. They're not dating. They're just bros. And they were dating.
He was
like
so
all
sure.
year.
They had been dating for like 6 months, and he was like, what do you mean they're best friends?
But they were bros.
They were Tao and Elle.
They were dating. That happened on the Germany and Austria trip this year. We were like, oh, what a sweet friendship. And then one of our students was like, that's not a friendship. And we were like, all right, so we're going to make sure that we're going to have a teacher just sit right outside that room for a little while. It was fine. They were fine. Because although their relationship is becoming stronger and neither of them is ready to take things further, the trip ends with both boys privately realizing just how serious their relationship has become. Charlie Googles how to tell someone I love you, while Nick, looking through photos and realizing how consistently Charlie hasn't been eating, searches for information about eating disorders. Something I really like about this book, again, thinking about how real it is like the use of technology in it. Like a lot of the conversations happen via text. A lot of them happen via Instagram. It's a lot of group chat stuff. We see them Googling things. That all feels very real to me.
This like the texting explicitly through Instagram, like threw me. Yeah, right. And also you can already tell that it is unfortunately a little bit dated because they're not talking to AI. They're Googling these questions instead of being like, hey chat, how do I tell somebody I love them? Great question, Amanda.
Volume 4. Volume 4 begins with Charlie desperately trying to work up the courage to tell Nick he loves him, while Nick is increasingly worried about Charlie's relationship with food and unsure how to best help him. During a beach day with their friends, Nick finally shares his concerns, and Charlie admits he knows something is wrong, but is scared to talk to his parents about it. Before Nick leaves for a 3-week family vacation, Charlie blurts out, I love you, while Nick is in the shower.
And then runs away.
He's not in the room with him when he's in the shower, for the record. He's like hanging out in Nick's bedroom. Nick is in the shower. And he's like, I gotta go. But I just wanted to tell you that I love you. And then he leaves. And so Nick, half-dressed, barefoot Nick, chases him down the street so he can say it back. While they're apart, Charlie struggles more, and Nick confides in the book, it's his mom. And in the show, it is his aunt, who's played by Haley Atwell, who is on Google her right now. You have an iPad. Google Haley Atwell. That's a Kindle. She's Peggy Carter.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, that's literally what I said in the text. Okay, we texted about this the other day.
I've been drinking.
You've had one.
Yesterday, you were drinking when
2.5 right now. What's your name? Peggy Carter?
Haley Atwell.
Peggy.
Okay, and again to talk about the show.
So it seems that Peggy Carter is played by an actress named Haley Atwell. Do you guys know that?
Yeah, is she on your hockey team? She's on our hockey team.
Definitely on the hockey team.
Yeah, she could play forward.
Long live Haley Atwell.
Okay, but again, briefly to talk about the show for a second. I love that they had cast two relative unknowns as the lead with Kit Connor and Joe Locke.
And they've both done great things since.
Exactly. Have done amazing things since, including both have been on Broadway, which is also super cool.
Shout out Joe Locke and Agatha all along. He's so good in it.
True. And on the flip side, I love that they have these like really short cameos from super amazing British actors. And so
But
Olivia Coleman.
You'll
as
never
Mom,
see Olivia Coleman and Haley Atwell in the same episode.
Right. And Haley Atwell. And then Jonathan Bailey shows up briefly. And I completely forgot that until I rewatched it.
Also on everyone's hockey team.
Oh my God. Captain.
All right. So he's on vacation and Charlie's struggling. Charlie's struggling and Nick is struggling. And so Nick confides in his mom, who reminds him that loving Charlie doesn't mean it's his job to save him. He can support Charlie, but they need adults and professionals involved too. I think this book handles this so well. I think it is a really wonderful portrayal of adolescent mental health, and also Nick's like, but I have to save him is like, that's not on you, buddy. Like, you're a kid. And I think they do a great job with that.
And I actually think it's the one thing the show didn't do as well.
I agree.
Because I don't think they dug into that as much.
Nick just kind of like disappears into it in the show.
Right, exactly. And it gets referenced. David makes a comment about it in a later episode of like, you're just trying to save him or something. But it's expanded on much better in the books.
Never heard of this one before in my life.
Olivia Coleman? She has an Oscar.
All right.
I can't wait.
I advised an Oscar.
We're going to make him watch the Wicker trailer after this. After Nick returns, he helps Charlie finally tell his parents that he needs help, beginning a difficult several months in which Charlie receives professional treatment for his mental health, including time away from home before returning to school and continuing his recovery with his therapist, Jeff. I stan Jeff.
Jeff's great.
Jeff's great. Great therapist. 10 out of 10.
Stephen Fry's in the show.
Oh my God. Through it all, Nick, Charlie's family, and the entire Paris squad rally around him. Charlie begins to understand that recovery means allowing himself to rely on a whole network of people rather than just Nick. By spring, the focus shifts to Nick's family when his largely absent French father, Stéphane, didn't know that was his name, comes to dinner. And Nick decides he's finally ready to tell him that Charlie is his boyfriend and that he's bisexual. Nick's brother David nearly takes that choice away from him, but Nick stands up to both David's bullying and his father's absence, declaring that he likes who he is and he refuses to be ashamed of his life. Stéphane apologizes and promises to try harder. Charlie's mom begins repairing some of the tension in their own relationship, which we haven't really talked about, so let's talk about that in a second. Yeah. And the volume ends with Nick and Charlie driving off together for milkshakes, still dealing with plenty, but stronger, more supported, and very much in love. Can we talk about Charlie's folks?
Yeah, Dad kind of sucks too.
Does Dad suck? Why? I don't remember. I know Mom was like...
Well, he's like the ultimate like absentee dad.
Oh, wait, who?
Nick's dad. Nick's dad.
Oh,
are we on Charlie?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Nick's dad first.
Okay.
And Nick's dad sucks. I know that dad. You know? Well, he shows up more than my dad. But his dad kind of sucks. You know, he's
I'm not
like...
sure he does show up more than your dad, because he also was like, no, I actually have never introduced him to my new wife. Like, which is crazy.
Yeah, but he at least pretends to care.
He shows up twice in this book that takes place over the course of 3.5 years.
I'm not changing my point.
All right. You are the expert on your own experience.
No, his dad sucks. You know, he like wants... I thought he actually... When he was first introduced, I was like, okay, maybe he's, you know, like we don't know enough about him. Maybe like there's something there, and there's not.
Right.
He like
Seemed
pretends.
like there was,
he pretends to care.
Right. Seemed like there was an opportunity for a redemption arc that didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Which also feels
and
true to
sometimes
life.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Nick's mom, 10 out of 10.
Glorious, love her.
Charlie's parents. His mom is like, she's very, I don't know, she's very uptight. It's not that she's controlling. I think it's that she wants Charlie to be a specific way. And I do think it comes from a place of wanting to protect him. but it comes out really angry a lot of the time.
Yeah. Well, and I think because she has trouble sort of emotionally regulating herself, it's created such this tension between the two of them that it's just, this is ingrained behavior at this point between, like, this relationship is just like so impacted. Yeah, exactly. So it's hard for them to even have sort of a conversation without one of the two of them taking it the wrong way, in essence.
But again, very real. Like,
Very
I
real.
liked it. Like, you had Nick, whose family was pretty great, and Charlie was he's he is struggling with mental health issues, and his mom doesn't know how to support him, and it's real. And again, it was written really well and handled really well. Didn't pull any punches, didn't try to like soften the blow, just kind of happened.
I think what doesn't come up in these notes is so we've talked about Nick's brother David, but Charlie has siblings too. He has an older sister named Tori, and in the books he has a younger brother who I can't tell you anything about because he doesn't exist in the show.
I don't even remember this. I don't even remember this.
Yeah, he has a little brother. But
oh, right.
But Tori is important. So Tori is important. She actually has her own novel. I haven't read it. It's called Solitaire. And Tori, I guess this happens in book 5, but Tori is like, she's just kind of like an odd duckling.
Mm-hmm.
She is a school year older than Charlie. And she's always kind of like hovering in the background. She doesn't seem to have a lot of friends. She's like a little more of like an alt kid. She's in the show, she's always drinking something out of a straw. It's very funny. But she's a good sister to Charlie.
Yeah.
And I think it's so interesting that it's like no family can have it all. Right. And you see that in the show too, I think. Like in the show, you get more into the other characters. We're talking so much about the show. Like Tao has a great relationship with his mom, but his dad died. And like, Darcy's relationship with their parents is terrible. And so like Tara kind of takes them in. And I don't really remember anything about Tara's dad. But like Tara's mom is great.
Right.
And it's like Darcy can stay here, but also like
I don't think dad's
around.
Yeah.
But it's very like everybody's got a family and nobody's family is like all terrible except I guess Darcy, but she's got a grandma.
Yeah.
They've got a
Thank
grandma
God
on
for
the
Gran.
show.
Yeah.
But like the fact that Charlie has like strong relationship with sister, tough relationship with mom, dad is there, kind of like a struggling mediating piece. And then like Nick has strong relationship with mom, absent dad, bad relationship with brother. It all just feels very like all of these configurations are normal and like naturally occurring.
Yeah, it's also like your dynamic with everybody is different. And so it feels 3D instead of sort of one note, which I love.
Now, I've only seen 2 episodes of the show, and I know because I'm focusing on this book episode. All right, the show episode is another podcast, but I said what I liked about the book that the show did, and you this is what you liked about the show. I'm hearing you saying like these other characters were fleshed out more in the show. Even Elle had like a whole story arc. I actually like that the book didn't do that. I like it when a character just is. Like, I don't need to know all the backstory. Like, I wasn't even like, at first I didn't even realize Elle was trans until they explicitly spelled it out. And maybe I don't remember what book it was, 3 or 4. Like, I had heard about Elle. Elle didn't have a big part in it, unlike in the show where she was there since I think the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked that about the book, how this is who the person is, and they're in and out, and they just are.
I will say that Elle being trans in the show does function very much like that. Like it's just a feature of her identity, and it's not like certainly in the first maybe like 2 seasons, it's very much like Elle is trans and we're all on board with Elle being trans, and that just like is what it is, and it's part of like her story that she transferred schools. It really, I think, doesn't become like a plot point until
Season 3.
she transfers to the art school, and then we get like a real Elle like exploring her trans identity through art. And I think that's relevant in terms of like the political movements in the UK right now, and that I think is why that felt important for them to write.
Question, because I haven't seen the show. Do they bully her at all for being trans?
Kids don't.
No, yeah, like
You know,
kids.
I find that really weird then that they are bullying like the kids for being gay.
Well, they
but
talk about her. They talk about that she had been bullied for being trans, but we don't see it.
Like
Okay,
she
that
had
was-
to transfer to Higgs because Truum was awful for her.
And particularly like the men, like the teachers wanted her to wear pants and like she couldn't have her hair long. Like it was like,
yeah, and they
needed
wouldn't
her to, like-
recognize her pronouns and
yeah,
like that
they,
kind of stuff.
they needed
so.
her to like conform to male gender norms in order to be at the boys' school, which like I don't love, but it is, I don't like, but it is a boys' school, right? And like,
Yeah,
she's a girl.
They
so
reference
she
that-
should be at the girls' school.
right. She had gotten suspended multiple times because her hair was longer than shoulder length. So
See, I like in the book where they sort of you're left to figure that out. Like they do like tease it out and you like put it together and you're like, I like when that happens.
Yeah. I don't think, and the thing I told you when we talked about this off the air is like, it's hard. The fact that we've made it this long into the episode without me talking about heated rivalry is like actually kind of a miracle, because my Uber driver on the way here was named Ilya. And when I saw him come up, I wanted to be like, Ilya.
also, happy first day of filming season 2.
Happy
for
first
all
day
who
of
celebrate.
filming season 2. We'll have to talk at the end about the casting.
I literally agreed.
Okay, great. One of the things that I like about the adaptation of the Game Changer series to the show, having read the books, is that I do think that Scott and Kip's story, although it is lovely done in one episode and then popped in again at the end of episode 5, I don't think Scott and Kip's story could be a whole 6-episode miniseries. And I have said, like, I would literally watch a show of just like Shane and Ilya like hanging out at the cottage. Like there doesn't have to be any drama. I don't care. I just love them so much.
Rick would just watch Francois.
That's true. But I think similarly to, I think that there's a different way that we have to approach multiple characters in books versus movies, where it's like, when you're watching something in a movie or in a show, like you need Svetlana to be more fleshed out. You need, Ilya's relationship with his brother to be like on screen. Like, so I think if the show had just left the side characters the way that they were, I think that would be very boring. And I think it wouldn't be show. It would be movie.
No. I agree. Like and then it comes down to the Netflix execs being like, how can we make this many episodes?
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm just saying there are things that I like that the book does and, just the show just does it differently.
Yeah. I feel like I'm doing to you what you do to me every time I talk about Crescent City, which is that I really think once you finish watching it, you're going to be like, yeah, they did that really well.
No, it's different. I get it. It's just two different, I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, your storytelling has to be different based
Yeah.
on the medium. So,
And it's like, okay, that they're angels and have cell phones. It's fine.
I mean, it's not, but
Angels are fae.
They're angels. They're Malach.
You got
You gotta, it's a at the end. Okay. Heartstopper, volume 5. By volume 5. Charlie, Akayet. Look, Mom, Akayet. By volume 5, Charlie is doing much better in his recovery, while he and Nick begin navigating a new stage of their relationship as their physical attraction becomes increasingly impossible to ignore. Been dating for like a year now.
I know.
Both
Which
are
also impressive, friends.
I know, right? Both are nervous about taking things further, especially as Charlie continues working through insecurities about his body. But with some encouragement from friends and Charlie's therapist, Jeff, they start having more honest conversations about what they want and whether they're ready. At the same time, Nick is facing an entirely different existential crisis: university applications. And the terrifying realization that choosing his future might mean eventually moving away from Charlie.
I know nothing about this at all. This did not resonate in any way to what I do on a daily basis.
How often would you say students come to you being like, I need to be near my boyfriend?
No, it is almost never explicitly said, but it is clear.
I've watched it like play out a couple times.
Clear in their decision making and how they are talking about their options and considering choices, what is swaying their opinions.
And then
And same for friends. It's not even, this doesn't have to be significant others and partners. This is also just friends.
Yeah, that would have been I didn't go to college right away, but that would have been my, yeah, I would have focused on friends.
I went to the University of Florida with all of my friends because we were like the top 20 GPA students in the grade, and it was free. Go Gators.
I went to
Nerd.
a college with one other person from my graduating class, and we lived in the same building, and Becky and I never spoke.
Yeah,
We spoke in high school. We did not speak when we got to college.
I did like go to college with my best friend, and we like roomed together. And we liked it okay. We joined different sororities. Like it was kind of a whole thing. And we don't talk anymore because we have nothing in common. And I don't think she's a very nice person. But if she listens to this, I believe she could be if she wanted to be. But I don't think she's listening to this. All right. Charlie's mom initially pushes back against Charlie spending the night at Nick's, leading Charlie to argue that recovering from his mental health struggles doesn't mean he's fragile or incapable of making normal teenage decisions. I love this. She's like, you just got back. You like just got out of like inpatient care. Like we really, and he's like, just because I have some mental health struggles does not mean that I can't be a normal guy. And I think that's so important.
Okay, but also to this parent's point, and this is perhaps a query for you two and query for kids at home also, who is sleeping over at their significant other's house? Okay.
How old?
They're like, I think they're like 16, 17 at this point.
I mean, I had a cheat code.
What was your cheat code?
I was dating
Your best friend.
I was dating my best friend's sister.
Beth.
No, Beth came later. I was dating Rob's sister.
I didn't know that.
Rob's sister was my first girlfriend, Elizabeth.
Cute.
Yeah.
Shout out Rob's sister.
Hi, Elizabeth.
No, not at like 16. Although I guess like, yeah, I did have a boyfriend sleepover at 16, but it was like after prom and it was like a big thing. And I also like, are my parents going to ever listen to this episode?
No, they're never
No.
going to get this far.
My mom and I did not have great boundaries around stuff like this when I was in high school. My dad was traveling full time. My sister had gone to college. Like it was just me and her. And I think a lot of the times we functioned more as friends or roommates than as like a parent and child. So like, I think I'm a very terrible example of whether something is normal or not.
And to be fair, like people slept over my house all the time. I had an extra apartment above our garage. And so it originally when we first moved in had an external entry and then we enclosed it so it was like part of the house. But it was like the easiest place to, you shove half a dozen kids up there and you never hear them. And there's a kitchen, there's a bathroom, like the
That's
whole
nice.
thing just happens. So like people slept
My
over
garage
all the
is not
time. And if we were like partying, then I would walk out of my house with my glasses, my contacts case, and a toothbrush
Yeah.
and be like, Mom, I'm sleeping over at Jeff's. I'll see you tomorrow. And Mom,
Yeah.
like, didn't fucking care. But if it had explicitly been like, I'm sleeping over at my boyfriend's house, then
That
she
would
would
have
have
been.
drawn a line.
Yeah, I will also say I've like both the guys I seriously dated in high school came from like deeply Christian families. And so like we were heathens.
Yeah.
And so I certainly wouldn't have slept over at their houses. Also, general statement, I don't sleep well. End of sentence. So like I'm not sleeping over at anybody's house. Like you can stay at my house, but you need to be aware that I will wake up at 5 a.m. and need to like go read a book or like go jogging or like paint something. Like
Great.
I need to do stuff.
I'll be with you in a week.
And I was
That's
the person
why I have
who,
my own room.
I was the person who had to go to bed early.
Same,
And
because I have to
so-
wake up at 5 a.m. to like
Right.
go on an adventure.
Oh, I just needed to have like 9+
Wake me
hours
up.
of sleep.
You're gonna want to sleep. You're gonna be like in a house without a kid. It's gonna be like you and
And
Meredith.
a dog, no dog. Like,
Right. You and Meredith and Dee Dee and Stephanie and Erica and Julia, like all the moms are just gonna be like, we're fucking snoozing. It's gonna be me and
I'll wake up with you. R wakes up after me.
also, does this house have that many rooms that you all are going to be in like single rooms?
well, not everyone's gonna be in a single room, but I
Okay.
get a single room and Rick gets a single room.
Got it. I am with the two people who have the single rooms.
But also there are many rooms. All right. Charlie's mom's pushing back. Nick admits that he has his own problems to work through, particularly his tendency to hide his feelings and organize his life around making other people happy, something that I don't relate to at all. And the vulnerability brings them even closer as they begin exploring greater intimacy together at their own pace. While Charlie finishes his exams, he considers applying to be head boy and prepares to play drums with his band Queer Intentions, 10 out of 10, at the summer fete. Nick takes a university road trip with Tara and Elle. In the show, Darcy's also there. Kent is conveniently close to home, but doesn't excite him, while Leeds unexpectedly feels right, forcing Nick to confront how much his desire to stay nearby has been about Charlie rather than what Nick actually wants. Tara and Elle remind him that he's allowed to make choices for himself, while Charlie proves their point by performing confidently at the fete even before Nick arrives and realizes that he doesn't need his boyfriend beside him for every important moment, although he does make it there.
Okay, an important thing to note here. I don't remember in the books if they showed what Charlie's GCSEs were.
I don't think so. They show Nick's, but they don't
Right,
show
sorry,
Charlie's.
they showed that. Sorry, I meant Nick. God, I'm like,
Oh, they show him in the show, but yeah, I don't know if they show him in the book.
okay, well, they show him in the show.
Are they good?
He passes all of them.
Wow.
So as I am reading this,
College counselor over here.
I'm like, I don't know if this kid's getting into either Kent or Leeds.
Where would you send him as Nick's college counselor?
Oh, I don't know him well enough.
He wants to play rugby.
I know, that's the problem. And I don't know rugby in UK schools well enough.
But she would learn rugby.
But I would know quickly.
She-
Also, how many universities are in there in the UK?
23.
180. How many are in Canada?
180.
93.
How
How many research universities are there in the Netherlands? It's a fun game.
Research universities?
universities.
17.
You're right.
Wow,
You're
really?
on the nose.
Yes. Incredible. I love that for me.
This was fun facts with Kim.
1 point, gold star. Okay. Yeah, I think this is great. He manages to perform. It's really great. Nick shows up at, exactly on time. It's a really good, big moment for everybody. The volume ends after Charlie's long-awaited sleepover at Nick, where Charlie excitedly tells Nick about applying for head boy, and Nick finally admits how much he loved Leeds. Charlie immediately encourages him to go where he's happiest, leaving them both staring down the very real possibility of a future long-distance relationship. Some things that happen here about their physical relationship that I think are important. Number one, this whole thing about a sleepover, and this comes up, I think maybe more in the show than in the book, but I think it comes up in both places, where it's you don't need to spend the night to have sex.
Sure don't.
And I think
that was kind of my point earlier also, where I was like, how many people were actually sleeping over? But
sleeping is not the problem, girl.
Doing whatever you needed to get done.
I think that's a very important piece of the conversation that's often left out. Number two, I feel like this maybe is clearer in the show, but it happens in the book too. They talk about the concept of sex, and they're we had sex. And then it was I think they say does it count if it was just hands though? And I think this is such a cool and revolutionary way to talk about the quote unquote bases. And I think a really cool way to understand the queering of the concept of sex, where it's what counts as sex? And I think that's just a really refreshing and healthy way to talk about it.
Agreed.
And this is the first time that I've really seen that expressed in YA literature. And
Right.
I really liked it.
There's lots of ways to have sex.
Because if what you're focusing on is this concept of the
Right.
virginal
Intercourse.
That's so heteronormative and frankly so very Christian, that it's wow, there's a million other things that could fit under this umbrella. We know there's a million kinds of soup, and I think it's really important that we acknowledge that all soup is soup.
Mm-hmm.
You have thoughts? You have a joke? Okay.
No, I was thinking different types of sex, right? So there's oral sex. So if it's just hand, is like handy sex? Like what is it? What is it?
Okay, well,
Digital sex, like your finger.
as I say every year,
It was a joke. Now it's not. Like what is it?
you've literally taught ASL 3 with me. And so you've heard me say oral meaning of the mouth and manual meaning of the hand.
So manual sex?
I don't know if it's manual sex, but I know that oralism is educating deaf children exclusively through speech, and manualism is educating deaf children through sign language. I think
manual works. I mean, that makes sense.
manual means of the hand.
Yeah.
A manual is a handbook.
I guess it works in a car. It works in a car. The car's manual shift.
Did he not even just fucking hear me / see what I was doing here?
No.
I said I was shifting the car.
I wasn't.
Oh my God.
He was eating chips.
He was
All right.
still thinking too hard about it, I said.
Volume 6. Volume 6 finds Nick and Charlie in a genuinely good place after everything Charlie has been through, but suddenly the future and sex are looming very large. Charlie is doing better in his recovery, back at school and rugby, and sorry. That was the incorrect.
That was right.
Volume 6. Volume 6 follows Charlie and Nick through another year at Truum, with Charlie deciding to run for head boy, while Nick begins thinking seriously about uni and what his life will look like after school. Charlie's campaign forces him to reflect on being outed and bullied when he was younger, and in his election speech, he openly calls out Truum's culture of bullying and promises to make the school safer for queer students and anyone else who feels like they don't belong. After winning the election, Charlie starts a pride club, although he has to jump through quite a few hoops to make pride club happen, which I was like, oh honey, keep going, keep trying.
But also pretty real.
So very real. I'm so sorry to all of the Charlies I've ever worked with that I didn't let you start Makerspace Club. Bless you, because I didn't have the time, space, or manner to do so. He tries to start Pride Club, tries to create meaningful change, although he quickly discovers that being head boy comes with more responsibility and more institutional resistance than he expected.
Welcome to administration, Charlie.
Woof. I'm so sorry, Charlie. Meanwhile, Charlie and Nick's relationship continues to deepen as they become more comfortable with sex and intimacy, communicate about what they want, and generally remain disgustingly adorable together. Charlie eventually decides to quit the rugby team because his head boy responsibilities are becoming overwhelming. Nick is sad to lose something they've shared for so long, and Charlie is like, I literally only joined the team because I had a massive crush on you. And it's
also, let's be real, they're playing Sunball.
They're playing Sunball.
That's a whole episode. I've got fucking notes.
This is not the Crescent City episode. Nick is working on his university applications and his personal statement, and the approaching transition makes both boys increasingly aware that their lives are going to change, even if neither of them knows exactly what the change will look like. Charlie begins to notice that Nick is struggling emotionally, but trying to hide it, particularly because Nick has gotten so used to being the person who supports Charlie through difficult moments. Mm-hmm. When Nick finally opens up, he admits that he's been having nightmares about Charlie's past mental health crisis and remains terrified that something could happen to him again, allowing Charlie to reassure Nick for once instead of the other way around. We love reciprocity.
Yeah.
We love mutual strength.
Right.
We love a good partnership. Their conversation becomes an important reminder that Nick cannot be responsible for keeping Charlie well, and that loving each other means allowing both of them to need help sometimes. By the end, Charlie is more confident and independent than the boy Nick first met, and Nick watches him perform with their friends at a holiday gathering. The two are looking forward to an uncertain future while feeling more secure than ever in themselves and each other.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
And Tori comes out as Ace, and she's got a weird non-relationship with Michael.
Mike, yeah.
Who is in the show. I say weird because he's weird. Right. And I mean that lovingly. With love.
Yeah.
They are weird together. It's not that Ace relationships are weird. It's that he's a weirdo, and I love them together.
Something I guess I didn't like, and it was, I guess, it's more of a... No. You'll, hold on. I guess it was more of a writer's style choice thing. I was waiting for them to break up. I was waiting for them to do that thing. I like that didn't happen, right? But I think it was in the first or the second book they had an epilogue or years later type thing, and they were together and they adopted a dog. I can show it to you.
I mean, there is a second dog that comes up.
They
Henry?
maybe it's not.
Yeah.
It's in my book. There's like an after years type of thing, and they adopt a dog, and I'm like, well, now I know they're not going to break up. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know the epilogue either.
I have literally no idea what you're talking about. I also think you're reading a romance. You know they're going to end up together. That's the genre.
And it's a
know, but,
YA version of it.
But since that happened in the first book, I was never worried about it. I was like waiting for their breakup, you know, like
Yeah.
and then they come back together type thing.
So
my query to us is this happily ever after, or is this happy for now?
happy for now.
It's a happy for now because
Right.
they're too young for it to be
They're
happy
too
ever
young,
after.
yeah.
But I believe that it's a happy ever after for the whole group, even if it's not a romantic happily ever after for Nick and
For
Charlie.
sure. Yeah, I mean, it's the friends they made along the way, right?
It's how and Elle break up in the book.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting. So one of the interviews that Kit Connor and Joe Locke did for the release of the movie.
There's like a whole little docu, like a little episode. about
Right.
it.
And I don't remember if it was in there or if it was in one of the print ones. Certainly one of the print ones because I read it. I didn't watch it. But Kit talks about how where he's like, would I have loved to have seen them, break up or cheat or like any of those other things? He's like, yes, I would have. And a bunch of the fandom just went like really berserk about it. And they were like, how could he possibly say that? And like, that makes me think less of him because that's not everybody's experience and blah, blah, blah.
I just need the people of the internet to calm the fuck down. Was bullying Kit Connor out of the closet not enough for you?
Right.
Let the man live. Look at his silly little precious golden retriever child face and let him live. Real people can't queer bait. Real people are allowed to have the relationships that they have. They're allowed to have the preferences that they have. They're allowed to want to see something from a character that is not appropriate for the timeline that the author has written. Let my man Kit Connor live. Leave him alone.
I was like, hey, he's fucking 22. Leave him alone. But also it was just like, you're upset that an actor is like, I would have loved to have done more with this role even. Like, that's the kind of reflection you want to see from somebody who's really dedicated.
Do you
to
know
their
that they
craft.
bullied him out of the closet?
No, I didn't know that.
They were like bullying him. They accused him of queer baiting and saying that he was using his role on Heartstopper to like get in with the queer community. And he was like 17 at the time. And he like posted on Twitter and he was like, not that it's anybody's business, but I'm bi. So thanks for forcing me to say that publicly. And now I'm off Twitter forever. Goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can't have nice things. And we're watching it. It's the same fucking people that are doing it with Heated Rivalry right now. And I want to fight them.
I don't know. It's like
Fight them. Leave
in
Hudson
the
Williams
real
alone.
world, if you have a happily ever after, it's not a straight line.
It's not a straight line.
Like, yeah, maybe they'll break up. Like, that's reality. And like, so
Doesn't mean they don't adopt a dog.
right.
Well, again, particularly thinking about like, these are characters that we are meeting at the age of 15 who are developing minds and learning about.
In fact, like they probably should break up for a little bit.
Right. They're learning about boundaries. They're learning about healthy relationships. Like, yeah, this shit's gonna happen. It should happen. So anyways.
Shout out to, I was literally just texting my sister like right before we hit record. She was talking about how she hasn't been ghosted in like 30 years. It was not
Nice.
30, but like 20 something.
Nice, Julia.
And I was like, yeah. And the last time you were, it was because like Dave like dropped his phone in the pool and lost all of his contacts. And she's like, no, there was that guy that I dated in between Dave and Dave. And it's like, yeah, because they met when they were 18 and they had to break up for a little while and figure themselves out so they could come back together when they were 21, which is still really fucking young. But like,
Well, that's funny because I texted Julia yesterday and then she texted me back and I asked her a question and I'm still waiting since 4
Not
o'clock
sure.
yesterday.
not sure.
So, yeah, I'm being ghosted right now by Julia.
She left him on red. Not sure. Do you want me to nudge her right now?
Okay, 5 out of 5 series.
5 out of 5 series. I love this book. I love the series. I have Solitaire on hold. I really want to read it. I appreciate that like the Nick and Charlie story had to end, and I think she ended it really beautifully. And I think there's really something to knowing when it's time to go. But I was really sad that book 6 was the last book
Agreed.
because I love our sons,
Yeah, they are collectively our sons.
our collective sons.
Thank God I'm the voice of reason. 4.5 for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I need a little bit of stakes. Book 2 and book 6 gave me those stakes. Book 2 with the coming out. Book 6 just wrapping it up. And the rest were just stories they told. And they were great stories, but I need a little bit more like something, you know? So 4.5 for me.
It's too cozy for you.
A little bit too cozy.
Have either of you, Amanda, have you read or watched Normal People?
I have not,
Okay.
but I've heard that I
Then
should.
Then I will not speak on
Okay.
it.
Can we talk about Heated Rivalry?
I think we should probably do so off air.
Okay. Happy first day of filming to the Heated Rivalry season 2.
Happy.
What else are you reading?
I am getting ready for ACOTAR 6 and 7, and I am currently plowing through Crescent City. And I really like it. I like it more than the first time around. I have a whole thesis that we're going to get to, and I can't say anything about it until you finish,
There's a whole episode.
at minimum, the next book.
That will be an hour plus of Rick
When did
sharing all of
we-
his conspiracy theories.
I also finished A House of Nesta and fucking The Wind and banging Cassian.
Okay.
Hands on the headboard.
I finished The Other Side of Disappearing and Bookshops and Bone Dust. I think both of those I finished after we last recorded. I gave Bookshops and Bone Dust a couple stars. It's too cozy for me. The Other Side of Disappearing I liked but didn't love. I think that Kate Claiborne does a really good job finding like very unique premises, and so I liked that, but I only gave it 3 stars, but that's surprising to me because I thought I would have given it more. I gave 4 stars to Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I liked the male main character in this book so much, and not in like a he's a sexy refrigerator kind of way, in like a this is a guy who's like forging his own path and like figuring out who he is in the face of like his hometown telling him who he's supposed to be. And I just like way more than bless you, way more than like being a romance. I just was like, I would read a book about this guy. I just like his journey. And then I just finished Wayward, which I quite liked and gave 4 stars, and think everyone should read because it's good. And now I'm listening to This Princess Kills Monsters, and I am back to Crescent City #2. I have 2 more books to read for my bingo board.
Love that. I set a lofty goal for myself this week, and I already know I'm not going to reach it.
We haven't recorded in like 12 days, so that's why I've read all that. It hasn't been a normal amount of time.
I finished The Incandescent, which I'm not sure I had done last time. And then I was sort of bookholed, knowing that I need to start Crescent City, but just like procrastinating and didn't do it. And so I went to the Lofty Pigeon, my local bookstore, the other day. I was trying to do an ARC drop, and there was only 4 copies, and I was number 5, so I didn't miss the ARC, which is fine. Instead, I picked up Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett.
It's just the most Kim-looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
I
It's
know.
beautiful.
And this is who wrote the Emily Wilde series, the Encyclopedia Fairies, so you've heard of that at least. So yeah, cozy, magic, romance, and a cat shelter in Montreal in the 1920s.
Love it.
And it's fantastic. I'm halfway through, and we'll probably finish tomorrow.
The magical creatures and fairy thing. That's not her name. That's not the author's name.
No.
Oh shit.
I literally told you that when we were playing Book Pond.
I don't remember this at all. I have a question. This is a random question because I had said Cassian was boning Nesta. And that was a really spicy book. What's like, maybe not a scene, or like what from like what book or what scene do you think is like really like I can't be reading this? Like, if people saw that I was reading this right now, because for me it's something from that book, like Nesta and Cassian just,
I'd have to think about that one.
well, dreidel to your head.
I mean, I like famously was reading like Under the Mountain. No, it was the
throne
Court
scene.
of the throne scene, the Court of Nightmares, in the green cover, in Prospect Park, and I was like, I gotta go. I can't be reading this out here. It's too much. But now I feel like I would be fine reading that in public. I don't know what I wouldn't be fine. I listen to a lot of smut in public.
But like if people saw, like if people could like
See, they shouldn't see anything I'm
just
reading.
saying, play the game. Play the game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely that. And then I think like all of Phantasma,
I was gonna say
the
that.
whole book of Phantasma.
Right.
Under Lock and Key. You don't need to see me reading Loch Ness Monster smut. What was the book I read with a soup? Oh, if you're reading anything by Elsie Silver in public, girl, I know what you're reading.
No one's fooled.
It's
by you.
okay, and I love you, and I respect you, and I support you, but like, I know what you're reading.
Well, and obviously it's got to be lights out.
Which I constantly see people reading in public.
Yeah, no, I mean, the first half of that book is like, yeah, please don't be looking over my shoulder. Like, you don't need to know any of this. And then the second half, it turns into a mafia mystery. But
Yeah.
Look, there's all of these studies about how like reading smut is like, regulating women's neurotransmitters or some bullshit. I don't know. It's not bullshit. It's real science, but like it's doing something to like make women feel safer in like relationships and like in their own bodily autonomy. And so like, fuck it. If you want to judge me for reading smut,
No, I hate.
like, I'm sorry that your sex life is bad. That's how I feel.
What I don't like about it is like when a book is called smut, it's like smut,
It's written by a woman.
and then when a guy writes it, it's called Game of Thrones.
Hell yeah. Thank you. He said that, so it's true. If one of us said it.
or what
Wouldn't
did
matter.
your mom refer to what we read? Erotica? Is that what she called it?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Paula, don't listen to this.
When your aunt was like, I'm going to read
She's
watch
like,
the
oh,
podcast.
are they listening to?
Which we love that. Listen to our podcast.
Not if you're my aunt.
We'll see you in 2 months.
All right, say goodbye.
Goodbye, Ted.
Goodbye.
Do we have homework or anything? Do you have anything at the end?
We're taking a vacay.
We're we'll see you when we see you.